Hello, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm continuing Pallet Town. I lost count at whatever episode this is, but I'm leaving off from wherever Tucker and Christian were, and my countdown starts now. Okay. So, where are we? Also, I do believe I'm supposed to offer a rebuttal. Why are we training Applebee's to level 18? Why is Bulbasaur not level 18? I'm supposed to offer a rebuttal to a discussion that was had in a previous... Oh, I know where we are. Why are we here? Did we do anything? Where Tucker spoke at length about a... Oh, we did beat the gym. Much maligned film. Or not, maybe not much maligned. Over the Wachowskis' take on Speed Racer. I am a little less of a fan of it. But I guess the decision was that we were going to talk about this film. So, for those of you who aren't aware, Speed Racer is... I guess you could say it's a love letter to the old show Speed Racer, a anime that was dubbed very poorly here in the United States, and that everyone of a certain age, including my dad, remember watching as a kid. Maybe not everyone, but my dad's definitely talked about his memories of Speed Racer, and he actually is a huge fan of the movie because of how much it reminds him of that old anime, which is crazy because I would never picture my dad liking anime ever. So anyway, because of Tucker talking about it, I have rewatched it, and that movie is bad. Record scratch. Ass. Okay, it's not badass, but it's pretty... I liked it more than I thought I would. There are scenes in that movie that are insane. They're colorful, they're over the top, they're crazy. They're like a live-action anime. It's... Some of the race scenes are... Well, they're what I'd want a racing anime to be and what I'd want that to translate into live action to be. The Wachowskis, of the Matrix fame, are very good at what they do, at least visually, and at times. But there are parts of that movie that are low, that are lower than low, that are... Oh, we have a lady in now. That are just garbage. And I don't want to hurt Tucker's feelings here, but, like, take literally any scene with Chim Chim and I can't even remember the kid's name. Bridle? Whatever, the young one who hides in the frickin' Mach 5. Where they're on a sugar high. It's like they're... I don't even know where to begin with them. It's terrible. There are scenes that aren't that far away from Spy Kids, as far as I'm concerned. Like where they're racing through the hallways and stuff like that while they're on a sugar high. It's terrible. Or their plot point is just to hide in corners and... Or not plot point, not hide in corners, but like they turn up in places where it's inconvenient, but because they're kids, they somehow save the day with that, and... Oh, cool. I get confused and I hit myself, you get confused and you connect all your hits. Thanks. But no, it's ugly. It's terrible. I hate it. There's a scene where the ninjas attack them in their sleep and take out the Japanese racer whose name I don't remember. And it's just like a bad cartoon. Which is great, I get that. Parts of Speed Racer were probably also bad cartoons. I don't know, I have no nostalgia. Clearly not as much as the Wachowskis do. But It's, I don't know. There are parts of that movie where I was like, man, this is awesome, and parts of that movie where I regretted watching it. I don't know if they realize we have cut yet. Um, but yeah. Oh. What do you mean Willistine can't learn cut? Yes. Fine, I'll teach it to... I don't want any of these guys to be RHM whore. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to give that movie a chance, and I don't regret watching it. Again, a lot of the racing scenes are very colorful and enjoyable. There are parts where he's racing his brother's ghost, and that's awesome. It's like Trackmania. There are some of the other, like the road race, the rally race, or whatever it is. Yeah, it gets a little cartoonish there, but Speed Racer is a cartoon, so it's like passable. And beyond that, it's gorgeous. Everything's so vibrant and explosive, and you have this huge plot related to like corruption of the sport, and that's a lot of fun to get into. Where like there's a criminal underworld that you're racing to bring down, and it's, I don't know. Other parts of it though, and then there's like this aggressive editing style, which is maybe what you'd expect from the Wachowskis, and sometimes it doesn't work. I think a lot of the scenes where they're racing through the big corporate complex, high on sugar, or the scenes where they're really everything with the kids are just okay. It's just not good. It's over edited in a way that's hokey and not enjoyable, and HMs were a bad idea. I'm so glad that they got rid of them. It's so hokey and gross to look at. But then there's then other parts where they're doing a lot of the plot stuff, and there's like, you have people's faces coming along, and they're explaining some of the exposition, and it's like scrolling across the screen, and that's the way your scene shifts, and it's aggressive. It's a very aggressive style. I can see why some people don't like it. In some of those cases, I loved it. It was so cool. Good job, Plant. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, the lows kind of turned it off for me, but the highs were worth it, I'd say. I had fun. I had fun watching it. I don't regret watching it. Clearly, it's not The Matrix, which is probably still the best thing the Wachowskis have ever done. I don't have the pail. But yeah, I don't know. Speed Racer sure does exist. This isn't a strong rebuttal. Tucker, the way Tucker spoke about it was almost... He did it justice. He spoke very well about that film. It is kind of what you'd imagine an anime from the 70s converted into a live action film would be. And I can't fault the Wachowskis for making that and having a middling product when really what they were starting with was also pretty middling. I mean, you go back to Speed Racer, it's kind of hokey. It's kind of... The plots are kind of hard to follow. The dubbing and writing is real bad. So the Wachowskis took that and made this really aggressive film, this really colorful film that's most of the time pretty good to look at, and with this underworld plot that I really liked it, this corruption plot. But also it's kind of ass sometimes. So Yeah, I don't know. Another thing I wanted to think about, and I was thinking about this coming in here. Uh, During our most recent Double Jump podcast, we talked briefly about our Pallet Town playthrough and about how Christian and I weren't really playing like we might have as kids, while Tucker kind of still was. I mean, he's training the stupid Ledian, for God's sake. While I'm thinking about late game Pokemon, and I haven't really had a grasp on where Christian is yet, but we're thinking on different planes. And he brought it up that Christian and I are playing it differently, and we're vocally playing it differently than we might have as kids. And I've been thinking about that, and yeah, we're going through a kid's game. At least I'm going through this kid's game way differently than I did as a kid. I would go for things that were cute or cool, or which I imagine is why we keep training this stupid lady and nowadays I'm thinking like, okay, I need to have spreadsheets. Which Pokemon have the best stats? Which ones are gonna aid me the most as the gyms go on? And it was an interesting contrast I was thinking about, because when I was younger, it was more like I wasn't thinking on the same terms. I was thinking like, well, I like dinosaurs, so I want to get an Aerodactyl or whatever, or I like Tyranitar, or I was thinking in terms like that. And going into this, I'm thinking more along the metagame, which is kind of not. Yes, Roar. I have unlocked the Roar. I will put Roar in my TM pocket. Thanks, Mr. Roar.
Welcome, you little scamp.
Roar. But yeah, and I thought about that, and it is a difference, and I don't know if I like it that much. I mean, I've definitely had a harder time getting through Pokemon games following that kind of shift in mentality, because I'm thinking about, I have to build a balanced team, not. It's. Like, I still like these games, don't get me wrong. I still enjoy this. But it's definitely not the way I used to enjoy it. And it's not that thought bothers me as much, it's more of just it stands out to me, and it is a little discomforting to think about. Or maybe not discomforting, but it's definitely. I think it is an interesting contrast and worth noting. Playing this as an adult is a way different experience than as a kid, because it's more almost a math problem now, to some extent. Trying to maximize your efficiency. It's economics at a ridiculous rock, paper, scissors level. Whereas I used to just, want the dinosaurs. But I digress, I still like this game a lot. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia talking for part of it, but. Well, I got this little crocodile, and he's gonna scratch this giant puffy thing, and. Yeah. We went the wrong way. We have gone the wrong way. I don't know. It's definitely something worth grappling with, because yeah, I'm playing Ultra Sun right now, and I definitely don't care about it I definitely don't have that same level of care as I did when I was playing Crystal as a kid, or when I was playing Sapphire as a kid. Not at all. And that one I'm thinking like, okay, I need to make a balanced team come Elite Four, and well, how soon do I get the Ice Stone so I can evolve my Ice Vulpix, or how quickly or when can I evolve my Charjabug so I can have a strong electric type? It's a different kind of beast. Either way, my time's just about up. So I think I'm going to go heal these Pokemon and let Christian and Tucker deal with the fact that I didn't really go anywhere other than getting one of our Pokemon cut, so we can start moving around the map a little more. Also, congrats to Tucker on the Ledian, and that's it.